Hello and welcome to the TNC Podcast, your go-to Norwich City listen following the ups and the downs and the indifferent parts of the Canaries. Jack Reeve and Chris Reeve back again. Good to see you.
You too.
We're in green.
We are. Why is that, Jack?
Well, Chris, thanks for asking. As you can see...
We're back to QVC again, aren't we?
No, our brilliant sponsor, Oliver Hill, who's just a great guy. And,
legend.
Another one of those that we have a WhatsApp group with. And it's interesting during game, isn't it? Because we're probably in about 10 different Norwich City related WhatsApp groups. And everyone's got different opinions. And I think dear old Oliver, I think he'll call himself realistic. Sometimes that goes into the bucket of pessimistic.
Yes.
Sometimes. So it's always great chatting to him about Norwich City. But he runs a brilliant coaching company.
He does.
In Norwich. Lots of viewers actually work with Oliver.
Indeed.
What does he do?
So, Oliver Hill is all about strengths coaching. Well, not only, but his specialist area, in my opinion, is strengths coaching.
So he struggles with you then?
So effectively, if you are part of an organisation that wants more engaged staff, if you want to understand your own personal strengths better,
Have Norwich City hired
personal strength coaching, he is the man to go to. Honestly, what Oliver is able to unlock in an organisation or for yourself is incredible. Hill Coaching Company. Specifically, go and check out the Clifton Strengths Discovery Package.
Which we've both done.
Yes,
We've
indeed.
both personally worked with Oliver, away from each other.
Yeah, thank God.
And he is brilliant.
And that's why we've continued to work with each other, because if not, we would have dumped each other. But effectively, all it is you say all. One of the areas is you effectively fill out like this very comprehensive survey, and then at the end of it, it spits out your results, and Oliver can help coach you through that. It's incredible. Very much worthwhile.
I think with everyone that we work with, Chris, and we've got a lovely roster, lovely stable of spot. Well, Super Bowl was on last night, wasn't it? A lovely stable of sponsors. But we only ever work with people that either we've worked with personally with our own cash,
indeed,
or suit our values. And we've been on board with Oliver for what, 4 or 5 years?
Yes, and he's been a loyal sponsor.
He has.
And the next plug is
just finally.
Oh, go on.
The links to Oliver's coaching company is in the description. What I would do is, if you're a business owner, even if you're a person on your own wanting to do better, check out the website, get in touch with Oliver, have a chat, and see what he can do for you. He's a great bloke.
I would do that. Next up, the Norwich City, the ultimate Norwich City raffle.
Yes,
Jack, is flown out the gates.
It has. It's broken well.
Popped out the gates.
It has.
Delighted to say. We've been announcing, each grand as we go on our social.
Yeah.
Delighted to say that as of yesterday,
yes,
we hit £3,000 for the Big
really?
C. Yeah.
And that's just in
1,
raffle ticket
2,
sales.
3, boom. Oh yeah, good point.
So yeah, it's running until the end of Feb. So you've still got a good few weeks to get involved. Yes. There might be some more auction items going online. I'm not going to tell you which, because I don't want a Brian Gunn situation, but I am leading one of the auctions. It's not the Kenny one, because Brian, ruined a kid's dream there, but I am leading one of the auctions. So if you want to beat me, get involved.
On a serious note though, guys, it's donate as little as £5, right? You don't have to donate lots.
No.
You've got to be in it to win it, and you never know. You can win a bundle of stuff. There's 3 different bundles. Go and check it out. Links in the description.
Crystal Palace. We're not in the Premier League.
What? Crystal Palace?
I thought London, I thought Crystal Palace. Queen's Park Rangers 2.
Have you been on the Lakens this morning?
Norwich City 2.
Yes.
A little Desmond.
Yes.
And I came to your house this morning, Chris, and I was expecting to open the doors for a bubbly, enthusiastic man after a good point away from home, and you were down in the dumps. What's happened to you?
I just...
Come on.
No, I can't... Look, we didn't lose,
yes,
right? But someone on social over the weekend said this to me. They said something like, "You're such a whinger."
Who, you?
Yeah, I'd agree. When you don't get what you want, you act like a spoilt brat. No, I tell you what it is. I've got standards. QPR, Jack.
Yeah.
Worst home record in the league.
Yes.
QPR have scored the least goals in the league. I am not having the nonsense that is a good point away from home. It is not.
They've picked up 7 points in the last
Jack,
in the possible
I don't
9.
give a tuppenny. You know what? I really don't. We are pushing for the playoffs.
Yes.
QPR, there for the taking, and we're gonna go through it in chronological order, Jack, aren't we? I'm sure, but my God, like when you get yourself 2-1 up at QPR away, you go and kill the game 3-4-5-1, don't you?
Yeah, I said in my review, I was really confused. Sometimes review videos are easy because the story has told itself. West Brom, Coventry, great. You know what the angle in is. I struggled a bit with QPR because pre-match, and this is where you get annoyed, so just wait, just restrain yourself.
Okay.
Pre-match, I would have taken a point. Post-match, I was disappointed with a point. So I was a little bit confused, and it took me 10 minutes or so to just find out where I was at with things. But my viewpoint, and it remains my viewpoint, you win your home games, and you pick up at least a point away from home. That will be enough across a season to hold you in good stead. It's not going to be the point away at QPR that's let us down this season. It's going to be the home defeats to Blackburn. It's going to be the home defeats to whoever else we lost to in that miserable September, October, November.
Are you done?
Point away at QPR.
Are you done now?
Point away at QPR. I slept okay after that.
Am I all right to go now?
Yes.
That is an absolute shambles. You're happy with a point away at QPR?
Yeah.
Do you know where they are in the league? Where have your standards gone? How many times have I said this, Jack? You cannot be happy with a point away at QPR. I get what you're saying about over the course of a season, win your home games, get some results away from home, a draw here, a draw there. Great, fine, get that. Mate, we're not in that territory anymore. We're on a playoff push. We cannot afford to be dropping points away to QPR if we're serious about getting into playoffs. Where have your standards slipped?
What I would say, I think the league position for QPR is false in terms of since Marty for Cifuentes has come in. They look decent. They look okay.
Yeah, decent, but mate, we're not in that territory. We cannot be getting our bellies tickled by QPR. Oh, come on.
Let's go through it.
You've really, Jack, you went into that game at the weekend going, "Core, yeah, I'll take a draw here."
No, it was more, after the game, was I, kicking and screaming about it? No, I was fine.
And I wasn't kicking, screaming. I was just frustrated.
Fine. Let's go through the game. First half was shocking. No shots on target for Norwich City. There was a couple of half chances. Jack Colback got the opener. It was a bit of a meh goal. I think Angus, watching it back, might go, at my high standards, I maybe would have liked to have done a little bit better than that. But at 1-0, you're going, oh no. Like, the good run, the half decent run of form that we're on, the good run of form at home, was about to be undone. So what's your mindset at half-time? What are you thinking at that point?
It was a really, really bad first half. Like, there's no escaping that.
I think Ashley Barnes described it as crap.
Yeah, and Ashley Barnes is bang on the money. Yeah. I think he used some other words and phrases as well. Totally accurate. So big
I think
up
it gave
Barnesy,
Chris and Rob at Radio Norfolk a little bit of editing work to do post-match.
Big up Barnesy for being brutally honest, because he's right. It was awful. And by the way, just a quick tangent. I have absolutely no idea why David Wagner has come out afterwards saying he was happy with that performance. How can you be happy with a performance where we didn't have a single shot on target in the first half? We've conceded 2 goals to the team that have scored the least goals in the league and have the worst home form in the league. How could you be happy with that performance? And we went 2-1 up and ended up giving away a blatantly obvious and should have been comfortable win. Anyway, first half, not good.
What did you make of the lineup? Because obviously Duffy was injured, so that forced a change. Hanley came in next to Gibson.
Do you know, I was confident. I was confident with the lineup, and my point was, Jack, is that even at half time when we hadn't had a shot on target, I was still actually really behind the fact that we were going to go and win that game. I really, really honestly did think that, and we should have, and we teed it up perfectly to go and do that. I was very, very confident. I wasn't fussed about the lineup. The way we came out the gate second half was much better than what it has been. So that has shown progression, because that has been a problem for Norwich City. just rewinding back to that goal. Sorry to go all over the place. Back to both of QPR's goals. I think it's harsh to be pointing the finger at Angus.
I'm not pointing my finger. I'm just saying.
Because both of those goals, again, and I am a broken bloody record on this. How many times have Norwich City conceded goals this season from not pressing and stopping balls getting put into the box?
Yeah.
We don't stop crosses.
Yeah, you're right.
This is not an isolated issue. This isn't it happens every now and then. It feels like all of our goals that we concede at the moment are from the fact that we don't shut down players quick enough. And by the way, this isn't just on one side or the other, and this isn't just defenders; it's midfielders too.
Yeah.
They're all guilty of it. This isn't just a right and left back. Many of those midfield boys haven't been shutting down crosses quick enough either. So, I think they'll be extremely disappointed with the goals they've conceded, and rightly so. I think Ashley Barnes called it schoolboy stuff or something. I think he said it something like that. But no, look, we got ourselves back in it. Such a well-worked corner.
Yeah.
Gabi Sarah has started to get a little bit of criticism online because of obviously the high standards that he set himself. But he was there again. He unlocked the door. It was a brilliant, really clever corner from Gabriel Sarah.
Lovely finish
for Kenny McLean to finish. Delighted that the mayor got his goal.
Yeah.
After such a brilliant season. I'm delighted that he got himself on the score sheet. Love the passion to the Yellow Army. And you're thinking this could be a cricket score after that goes in. No, you are, aren't you?
I wasn't.
Mate, are you all right?
I've just got, realistic expectations.
Mate, I think you need to get yourself some hill coaching again.
Well, come on. So at that point, you're thinking, right, well, let's go on.
It's only going one way.
Right.
It's only going one way, and that's the 3 points are coming back to Norfolk from London.
Get ourselves back to 1-1. You're thinking cricket score. I'm thinking, okay, let's just nudge ourselves in front, and that's exactly what happened. It was a beautifully worked move. Gabi Sarah involved. Great cross from Jack Stacey. And we've already said, haven't we? We've got the best goalkeeper in the division in Angus Gunn. And I think we're right there. I think people are starting to cotton on to that. We've definitely got the best centre forward in the division in Josh Sargent. It is a brilliant header.
The Sargent Salmon.
Nice.
He leapt like one, didn't he?
He did. It was a
header.
I love those types of goals. I remember really vividly, I don't know why I remember this, at home to Sunderland. I think we were still under Paul Lambert. It was a Monday night football game under the lights, and Steve Morrison scored a header like it. And they're really satisfying, those types of goals.
I love a hearty header.
Oh, just brilliant. Holty scored so many of them. Just one of my favourite types of goals.
And actually, do you know what? It's not necessarily a side to Sargent's game that I would say is his best strength, actually.
Sure.
But no, it was a brilliant finish, an emphatic header. It was superb.
And I think he started 13 games this season. He scored 7 goals. He's going at over 1 every 2 games.
It's a shame because I looked at the top goal scorers in the league. I saw one of those tables that was published on
Who's
social
top?
media. Shami Schmodix. And I thought Sarge would be leading that by a country mile. If he hadn't got injured, he would have been leading by a country mile.
I saw someone put if he hadn't have got injured and he played at the rate he is at the moment in terms of minutes per game, he would have scored 20.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sammy Schmodix is on 17.
So that happens in the 62nd minute. 5 minutes later, in the 68th minute, David Wagner and his coaching staff go, I know what we'll do. The man that created the goal and the man that scored the goal, we'll take them off.
Yeah, that was peculiar. Well, okay, so there's a couple of things here, and I think we need to be fair.
Well,
Jack Stacey had been ill. We later found out. I think he'd been sort of shitting himself, and not at the.
Well, I think he was being sick, Jack.
Well, probably the other end.
Let's
as well.
be fair. You've just. That is complete not. How would you know that?
Well, he had a bit of a dodgy stomach, I think.
You cannot come out with the fact that you think you were shitting himself.
Connor Southwell, put a sick face emoji.
Right.
And that's inferring to me that he's probably had issues at either end.
Okay, I'm not particularly happy that you've just come out with that, but we'll swiftly move
Look,
on.
He was ill, and we don't want a Gary Lineker at Loftus Road.
Jack Stacey, we love you, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that he's done that with, delivered that cross with a, maybe a little iffy stomach is great.
Right, yeah.
So there's your reason for that. Josh Sargent, we're obviously, nursing him back to full fitness. We don't want to injure him. The confusion for me was you got Big Sid on the bench. Where, surely that's the move. If you bring Sargent off, you bring Big Sid on. And he made it very clear in his press conference that he'd been training all week. He was happy with where he was at. That was the thing that confused me. And then to bring Sorensen on at right back.
But the thing that I don't get as well, Jack, and like again, I'm gonna bring up the word standards here. Okay, we're playing QPR, not Real Madrid. Okay, so you're totally fine. Bring on Sidney Van Hooijdonk. 100% bring him on for Josh Sargent. And the thing that confuses me is if David Wagner and his coaching staff knew that Jack Stacey was ill the night before the game, why would Kellen Fisher not be on the bench?
Yeah.
Because that is his natural position. And as I understand it, I mean, at this point, I'm completely baffled. I thought Jakob Sorensen's position was midfield. But now, is he saying that he's a better defender than an out-and-out defender, which is Kellen Fisher?
Well, he might have Liam Gibbs syndrome.
And people say, Chris, someone posted this on social media, Kellen Fisher's not the answer. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why would you not play a player in his actual position, put into his actual position? Does this make sense? Am I going crazy here?
Yeah.
I was thinking, why are you putting a midfielder in defence? That makes no sense to me.
That did seem confusing.
But away from, I can actually kind of just about get my head around the Jakob Sorensen for Stacey thing, because maybe David Wagner's done what he's done all season, which is he obviously prefers players with experience rather than youth. That's very obvious. Facts don't care about feelings. We've seen it all season long. I can kind of understand that, but bringing Josh Sargent off when he did is completely beyond me. He was playing very well. He was at full kelter, and I understand they're managing his workload, okay? But let's not get complacent, okay? We're 2-1 up. Go and kill the bloody game. Go and kill the game before you bring off your best player. I don't get it. And Josh was starting to get a bit of a taste for it. You can see he had the bit between his teeth. He'd just done the Sargent salmon and bashed one in the back of the net.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, Sargent, off you come. What? I can understand. Give it 10 more minutes at least.
Yeah.
Get the third goal.
I think it just sets a tone as well. Like, the last thing I want is, Sarge to overwork himself and then he's out for another 4 weeks or something like that. That is the last thing I want. So I do understand it. But it sets a tone to QPR when you're going, right, Sarge is coming off and we're not even going to replace him with a striker. We're going to stick Nunez in and push Barnes forward.
It invites the pressure on, doesn't it?
But it's funny, isn't it? Because
you're looking over your shoulder with Sarge,
this time last week, we were going, God, what brilliant substitutions Wagner made against Coventry.
Please, you brought this up because, again, the narrative and the stuff that I've seen on social media is, any excuse to bash David Wagner and da-da-da-da. No. Last week, I honestly believe that David Wagner won us that game at football. It was absolutely brilliant thinking to bring on the subs when he did. Ashley Barnes and El Hernandez completely changed the whole way that game was flowing against Coventry. It was brilliant. And but this time, you just think, well, what's happened? Because 1 week it was absolutely brilliant, and this week it's like, I don't get it.
Well, this has been the issue of the entire season.
But does it just show the mentality, Jack? Sorry to talk over you there. Doesn't it not just show the mentality is still, we're in this scared mindset? Why are we scared when we're 2-1 up against QPR? I'm not having it.
Well, Wagner's mindset, whether right or wrong, would have been he thought the players he brought on were capable of seeing that game out.
But one isn't a natural defender and one isn't a striker for a striker.
I think the issue. Look, my thoughts on Nunez. I don't think at the moment he's particularly effective. I think he drifts far too much in and out of games.
I think his last 3 games he's actually been really good.
It wouldn't have been my substitution. Okay. I mean, Sorensen has been consistently injured over the course of the last season. It's questionable whether he's effective at central defensive midfield. To bring him in at right back, I'm going, and who's QPR's best player? Cher. Over on that left side. So that was frustrating. At least we didn't lose.
Yes, and
there were some positives in there.
I know. Just to repeat, yes, I am frustrated that we drew against QPR when we were 2-1 up. Literally, it was there on a silver platter. 3 points. There you go. And just one foolish substitution for me. That was it. You just invited them on and.
Worryingly,
silly.
Worryingly, the biggest concern out of all of this we haven't even talked about, and that's Johnny Rowe. So I think he broke his hand. Broke his hand against Leeds United. Been out for a couple of games. Comes back late on in the game. What was he on? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
We think his hamstring's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good. I mean, that's a month at a minimum.
We're waiting for the news of how long he will be out for, but it doesn't look good, does it, Jack? I mean, it's good for your bet at least, but it's awful for Norwich City. I mean, absolutely our best player this season, breakout star. Even against QPR, when Johnny Rowe's running at you, you looked at those QPR players and they looked like they'd seen a ghost. They were like, oh my God, how on earth are we going to defend against this? And then just unfortunate, it's desperately unfortunate luck. It really, really is.
I think the thing with Rowe and much like, I think Sargent's more integral to the overall way we play.
Yes,
but
agreed.
The great thing with Rowe is how many games this season have we won just through a bit of individual brilliance?
100%.
And he has that so few players do in the Championship. Now, the person that's kind of stood in for him in recent weeks has been the big Fas, Christian Fasnacht. I've seen a lot of people getting a little bit tetchy with the Fascinator. Where do we stand with Fasnacht? Because whether we like it or we don't, we're probably going to have to watch a lot more of him now that Rowe is out. We don't know how long for.
Well,
I've been of the opinion, probably more effective off the bench, but I think he's been quietly effective for the majority of the season.
I wouldn't say the majority.
Okay.
He had one very good game for me, which was definitely Southampton away, and I thought, hello. Yeah. But look, it's his first season playing for Norwich City. It's definitely a step up from where he was before. Don't forget he was playing on AstroTurf last season. Okay, I think Christian Fasnacht has got the ability to be a good player for Norwich City.
It's probably because we're comparing him to Johnny Rowe.
I just think it's his first season, and we can't be expecting. Look, maybe we should be expecting more. I don't know. I'd maybe just change the conversation a little bit to Johnny Rowe's injured and has been out with his hand and now is out with his hamstring. In the meantime, what's happened is Borja Sainz has been really bubbling to the surface, and that's bloody brilliant news for Norwich. So we have still got that sort of individual spark to turn a game in Borja Sainz. That's positive. But no, look, Christian Fasnacht's getting a bit of criticism. But to be fair, Jack, he's not the only one. I mean, Anel Hernandez has had it 25 times worse than him all season, and even Gabby Sarah's getting criticism now as well. So I just think it's a sign of where Norwich City are at, and everything is always on edge with the Yellow Army, and rightly so, by the way, considering how we've been this season. I don't think Christian Fasnacht deserves the amount of criticism that he's getting, but he does deserve to have criticism, just like all those other players, because it is about numbers, isn't it? I've said this about Anel as well, and he knows this, It's goals and assists. That's what football is these days, right? That's what football is. So I'm not surprised. I don't really have a particularly strong opinion of Christian Fasnacht. Like, he's not the biggest fire at Norwich City. Just like Anel Hernandez wasn't the biggest fire at Norwich City. Sure. I've used this analogy before. Our defence was absolute shambles for the majority of the season, and we were completely toothless up top for large parts as well. That's been the problem for Norwich City. And since we've solved both of those problems in terms of getting, parking that Wagner wagon, getting super defensive, more organised, fine. We're there now, just about. We're not stopping crosses, but we're just about there, and we've got Sarge back. Fine. The wingers aren't the be-all and end-all.
Let's get the opinion of the Norwich City faithful on Twitter.
Okay. So the first one, Jack, has come in from Jacob Stephen Robinson.
Oh, double-barreled name.
And this is a statement. It's a strong statement. And I'd say it's a very sad statistic as well. 13 points dropped from winning positions away from home this season.
Ooh.
Had we won those games, we'd be a point behind Ipswich. And look, I know that all teams drop points from behind. I get that. But that seems like quite a lot, Jack. What's your thoughts on that?
I'd be intrigued to know how many points we've picked up from losing positions.
Oh, okay.
I saw a stat. So Tottenham in the Premier League have dropped 15 points from winning positions and picked up 15 points from losing positions.
So are you suspecting that we're probably similar?
No, I think we've definitely dropped more points than we've kind of come back from. I think you're right. And I think, the weekend is the perfect example of mentality. At 2-1, let's try and kick on and get a third.
Yeah.
we would have done that under a Lambert or an Alex Neil or someone like that. Wagner is just wired slightly differently, I think. There probably isn't a right answer.
It's just annoying, though, isn't
it's
it,
mightily frustrating.
It's just that Ipswich bit that's annoying, isn't it? We'd be 1 point
well, I
behind
get
them.
Ipswich will have dropped points from winning positions.
I know.
It is frustrating, and I think I look back to like Watford away when you're 2-0 up and you lose that. They're the real frustrations for me. I think it comes down to mentality. I think it comes down to, we seem content to sit on leads, and I don't feel comfortable watching a team do that. I think it's scary.
Absolutely with you. Harry Brister, he's survived.
I hope there was no issues with Harry's relationship last week.
Those that tuned into the podcast last week will know that Harry put a pretty risky question/statement in for us, didn't he, about Borja signs?
Look, we'll see him tomorrow night.
Something like satisfying him more than his partner or something. It was quite something.
Yeah, we'll see Harry tomorrow.
So we'll find out.
We'll find out what's happened at home.
We'll see whether he's got any scars. Anyway, he says, frustrating result, yes, but not a disaster. We'll take draws away from home if we can back it up at home. Watford and Cardiff need to be 6 points and we'll be in good shape. Why not get Fisher involved when we know that JS3 isn't fit for 90 before kickoff? Yes, I'm with you, Harry. No, I'm with you on all of that.
JS3. I think, spot on. I think probably the reason why I am not content but not angry about Saturday is the next week ahead, and we'll speak about Watford and Cardiff more later on in the show, Chris. Yeah, it does feel huge. We had a week earlier on in the season. I think we played. Was it Millwall and Huddersfield? That might have even been last season. I can't remember. But those weeks where you have a Tuesday, Saturday at home,
yes,
particularly against teams that you should be beating, feel massive. This week is huge.
Yes, and we are going to maybe we should chat about them now. Watford and Cardiff.
Well, it has to be 6 points.
It has to be 6 points. Well, look, the thing is, right, if they win the next two, QPR, you're not even thinking about that ever again.
No,
because
absolutely.
you've drawn away from home. You've got 2 wins at home. I'm not worried about Cardiff. I'm not. But Watford at home, Watford have got the ability to hurt us, Jack.
Let me tell you a stat that might give you some optimism.
Go on.
Without a win in 6, Watford have lost their last 3.
Really?
Got beat 2-1 by Leicester. Granted, their fixtures have been tough.
Okay.
2-1 to Leicester. They lost 3-0 to Southampton. 1-0 to Cardiff. The 3 before that.
They lost to Cardiff.
A 0-0 draw against Sheffield Wednesday.
Hang on, was Cardiff at home or away?
Home. A 1-1 draw against Southampton in the Cup and a 1-1 draw against Bristol City.
Ooh.
And let's think about the away game. Ooh. We battered them for 25 minutes. The Huang Howitzer.
Yeah, Hurricane Huang.
So, look, Watford and Cardiff, for me, if we do genuinely have aspirations for the top 6, have to win them both.
I still think we should beat Watford at home. I do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Watford can hurt us, which is my point. It's not going to be an easy game, but I do think we've got the ability to beat them.
But let's look at our previous 2 home games. West Brom and Coventry. And both of those teams better than the 2 we've got this week.
Agreed.
So,
good
actually,
point.
my standards at home, I think, are at a level of promotion. My standards away from home, mid-table.
Are in the toilet.
So I think you kind of couple them up and it's top 6 standards.
Let's get a couple of quick statements
Let's do it.
Matt Gregory says, bottle jobs, no more to be said. Benji says, big opportunity missed this weekend, huge week ahead. Got to be 2 wins. # time for the donk.
The Unthanked Kitchen.
Yeah.
Now, I'm surprised, actually, that the Unthanked Kitchen's got in touch. I thought they would have retired and sort of swanned off to Barbados.
Okay, why?
Because they've been making some serious cash this last week.
They have.
The Borja Banger,
yes,
the sausage and chorizo sandwich is in. The Borja Banger is being sold in the Unthanked Kitchen.
It's come to life.
In Norwich.
For those of you that follow us on social media, at TalkNorwichCity, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, we shared it. The Unthanked Kitchen created a, as seen on TNC, # Borja Banger. And honestly, I mean...
Well, I've never actually been to the Unthanked Kitchen.
I tell you what, you get a bit of that...
But I will be going.
I tell you what, you stick that sausage in your mouth and you're looking good, aren't you?
The Unthanked... If you want your Borja Banger...
Pre-match, a Borja Banger
pre-match, get down to the Unthanked Kitchen. Anyway, they say rave.
Right, good.
It's not about the Borja Banger. We've demonstrated again that we can come from behind. Sargent is integral to the remainder of this season, and if he cannot complete 90 minutes, right to come off. Rant. Danny Bart sat on the bench again.
Ooh.
Surely he would have been a better swap in the defence and has a goal in him.
Ooh. I
Danny Bart. You know
think
what? I forgot Danny Bart existed.
I think you've had too many Borja bangers there on that shout with Danny Bart. Look, Danny Bart, he should have played way more at the start of the season when the defence was an absolute horror show. He hasn't. It's safe to say that this hasn't worked out. And I think it's a shame because he was Sunderland's player of the season last season. That isn't an average player. That is a good quality of player. And he will be very, very frustrated, and I don't blame him. But would I have bought him on against QPR in that position? No, I wouldn't have done.
Probably on a decent wage as well. Richard Davis, in brackets, Dickie Davis.
Hello.
Brilliant name. So the Tinkerman strikes again. Absolutely bossing the second half and tries once again to hang on to the lead.
But he did.
Clown face emoji.
I know. But then I need to balance a little bit and say, but David Wagner got it so right against Coventry. So fair play.
Yeah, and
But this is why I don't think we'll get into. This is why I can't. I'm talking the playoffs into existence, but in my heart of hearts, Jack, I don't believe it because it's like we go from one to the other, don't we? And it's silly.
And I think that this leads nicely into Ben Horner's question.
Horner?
Yeah, Ben Horner.
Honk if you're horny.
Mentioned in the last game, are we moving the goalposts again? In terms of like, at one point we're going, we're going to get relegated. Now we're going, are we going to get into the playoffs? Then it's, we'll settle for mid-table. Like, let's have a genuine sit-down appraisal now.
Okay.
At the middle of February, not long to go in the season, what are the expectations? Realistic expectations. Not expectations after we've had 6 pints of Lakens. Sat down, stone cold sober, looking at the season, where are we finishing?
Well, I think it's totally fair that we should be muscling into the playoffs.
Do you think that's going to happen?
No, but I think that should be the expectancy.
Sure.
Because we've got the players to do so. And I look at the teams around us. I look at the teams that we've beat. Okay, you've just said it. West Brom and Coventry. Everyone's talking about them being bankers for the playoffs, and we've gone and made them look like a pub side. But the frustrating thing is we then go and draw against QPR away. Let's chuck a positive in there, shall we?
Yeah.
A statement from George Hale. Hello, George.
Hello, George.
He says, let's move on from Saturday. A point is a point. We're heading in the right direction. Bring on Watford. That's nice. A bit of optimism from George.
I think, look, we've said it, haven't we?
We can't wet our pants. I went Siflican then. We can't wet our pants too much over QPR, can we, Jack?
No, but you have, and you've quite literally wet them and had to change. What I would say, and we've had this discussion before, and I think we need to remember these discussions, Chris.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change from a head coach perspective from now until the end of the season. So we've just got to accept the hand we've been dealt and crack on with it, right? Otherwise, we're going to send ourselves insane.
Yes.
And we have at points this season already, and we're kind of, struggling to deal with things. But we know our hand. We know what we've got in front of us. We need to be optimistic. We need to back the boys.
Yes.
And then let's have the discussions around the series points at the end of the season.
From
now until then,
yes,
let's just be happy and crack on.
Let's try to be, because I think, we saw it against Coventry, we saw it against West Brom. The Yellow Army were fully behind those boys, and it was much better in terms of atmosphere. So I definitely think that we can do that. This is an interesting shout. A question from Amy Baldwin. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Amy.
Question, and this is interesting because, of course, in the week, Mr. Napper spoke, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He said some stuff.
He's not AI. He's not a bot.
He's not a bot. A question. How on earth are we Premier League ready if we can't beat QPR? So this is interesting, isn't it, from Amy? Because that was one of the lines from Napper. He said that one of the upsides of Norwich City Football Club is that we are Premier League ready. What was your thoughts on Ben Napper and what he said, Jack? And can we take anything away from that? Any faith, any optimism, any worries, concerns?
I think we need to start with Ben Napper and Stuart Webber from a communication perspective are so different. Like, Webber was brash and divisive, and that's brilliant when things are going in your way because you can get behind them. It's us against them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That obviously turns toxic, and we saw that when things aren't going well. Napper is very methodical and calm and quite emotionless in a good way in terms of never too up, never too down.
Yes.
I get where he was coming from a Premier League ready standpoint.
Yeah.
I think when you're a fan...
In terms of the facilities. And
You're a fan and you're tribal, you don't want to be hearing that shit. Like, you just want to be winning games and you want to be seeing the best players. But in terms of the processes and probably the stuff he's working on day to day, probably are Premier League ready. Like, the structures are there. Maybe not at board level, but I kind of got what he was saying. To be really frank with you, I watched that interview and I went... Meh. Didn't get my blood pumping.
Yeah.
I just thought, good box ticking activity, good bit of PR.
Yeah.
Did it with the local press.
I probably thought
they got a few pages out of it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone kept saying, "Oh, can you do a video on it?" And I'm like, "There's nothing to say."
Yeah, fair.
There is nothing new to say. It's nice we saw him. He looked smart.
He presented himself to the local press, which is a good step forwards. That is good. That is good. I think a lot of what Connor Southwell, as always, what Connor Southwell says is fairly sensible, and I think that his analysis of it was actually bang on the money. I think we probably wanted a little bit more, but then realistically, what more can he say, given the current circumstances under the current head coach? And this has always been that case, and it was, I'd call it clever timing from Norwich City to get Ben Napper to talk to the local press then. I was also, nice to hear from you, Ben. Didn't get my blood pumping, didn't get my passion pumping. But
to be honest, I think,
a good step forward.
Stuart Webber was very much an anomaly in the sporting director world. He spoke regularly. He was very out there and, turbulent.
Yeah.
I think if you look at kind of, I guess, CEOs and leaders of most companies, like the best companies do have... I'm certainly not calling Ben Napper boring. I'm just saying, like, he's just steady.
Yeah, but
he's not the man to get the blood pumping. He's just there to get the processes.
I just think Norwich City fans are almost like readjusting to what we've got now. Yeah. And actually, to be fair, to back up your point there, Jack, most sporting directors at that seniority, they actually don't talk at all. Yeah. So we are lucky that we do get something rather than nothing, and hopefully this will give the club some confidence to get Ben Napper in front of the camera again when it really matters. Which is ahead of this summer window, because we've got a lot of work to be done.
This is a good question.
Go on.
Alex Halford. Statement.
Hello, Alex.
Adam Idah has had a cracking start up north. Such a good lad, and if only we hadn't mismanaged him. I just want a quick point on Idah. So, assist on his debut off the bench.
Yep.
And then was it
2 goals.
And then against Hibs, was it? 2 penalties, last minute winner. And I watched the game. And I tweeted the highlights out like we did on TNC, and I put delighted for Adam Idah.
Yeah.
2 big goals in 2 big moments to win Celtic a match.
Mm-hmm.
What were the replies? Oh, so 2 penalties in a pub league, nothing impressive. And I'm like, if that's going to be our opinion, the lad has got no chance.
Yeah.
He has just scored 2 goals on his debut in a massive game. Yeah. It's a proper title fight out there this season. Yeah. Big moments. Delighted for him.
Big moments, and I think that's a good point, Jack. Regardless of what league,
I just
the pressure on your shoulders at that point in that that game. And Adam Idah, I think he scored 4 match winners he's got for us this season,
something like that.
Before he went out on loan. And by the way, Jack, why do you think Adam is wanting a move out of the football club?
Yeah,
because of the attitude of a lot of the supporters towards him, and I don't blame him.
I am bang on with you, Chris. I could not believe it. I thought, well, what is he going to have to do for you to praise him?
Well, yeah, but also, Jack, well, nothing, because there's nothing that any of them
Your
can
bobble's
do.
fallen off.
My bobble's fallen off. Re-bobble me.
Okay, I'll bobble you up.
There's nothing that Adam can do to change the fans' opinion. Unfortunately, I think it's a shame.
I couldn't believe it,
that
Chris.
That post is good. He's a really good lad, and I really hope that he goes on to have a brilliant career, regardless of what the end of the story is. Celtic, huge club. Huge step up for Adam Idah. Celtic, regardless of the league, your opinion of the quality of the league, in terms of size and stature and pressure, and the supporters are even more vicious as well. And by the way, both sides, Rangers and Celtic, it is literally religious up there, right? And so it's a big moment for Adam to score that penalty right at the dying moments of that game. Fair play to Adam.
I just thought, and I think I was reading some of those replies, and I was just like, just leave your ego out of this.
But the other thing, Jack, as well, is, well, why wouldn't you want him to do well and praise him? Because guess what we want? We want a whopping great big fee from Celtic when we want to sell him.
I couldn't believe it.
So why wouldn't you support him?
And I did giggle. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Scottish football, but there were so many people going, "Oh, it's a pub league." I'm like, have you watched Norwich against Rotherham? Celtic against Hibs is far better quality than some of the shit we've seen this season. Right?
No, I think that's fair.
It was the... my standpoint on Twitter. Like, I put it out there and I don't reply because I can't be arsed with it. I just read that and I thought, if I was Adam, I'd go, see you later, have a nice life. I'm off to actually go and play some football for supporters that appreciate me.
Well, that's what he's doing.
I honestly couldn't believe it. One quick point to add, Idah. I hope he's got his parking sorted.
Yes.
At Norwich train station. Because I pulled up to give someone a lift the other week. Very obvious car. I think the number plate is literally adds Idah. Parking tickets galore. So I'm hoping he's earning well up at Celtic to pay those Greater Anglia fines. Bonus question to Jack from Alex.
Go on.
Considering your awful prediction at the start of the season, we'll see who's right on that one, Alex. If we get the playoffs, would you say we're overachieving?
Do you know, I'm really pleased that question has been asked, especially
So my prediction was... So, on my pre-season predictions video, what was my prediction?
You thought that we'd be flirting with relegation.
No, what was my prediction?
It was.
What was my prediction on my video?
I don't know. I don't listen to you.
What was my prediction on the video?
Tears. You bore me.
Go and watch it back. I'll link it. I said we'd finish 9th. Where are Norwich City now? 9th. So, Alex, go and have a bore banger and stop coming into my mentions. No, in all seriousness, would we be overachieving? No, we wouldn't, because we've got the 4th highest wage bill in the division. Anything lower than that is underachieving.
Let's finish on a lovely little rave from
Finishing?
Ollie. Let's finish. Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
From Ollie. Northern Norwich 1 on X says, rave, at least the scum are falling apart too. That's interesting, isn't it, Jack?
Without a win in 8.
Without a win in 8 games since, of course... they famously beat us in a 2-2 at Portaloo Road.
I must say, I watched the game against West Brom. It was great entertainment. It was too... How do I put this nicely?
I thought they were incredibly fortunate. That equaliser, incredibly fortunate to go through that amount of bodies.
I must say, I watched that game, and if I was a Premier League fan, watching West Brom against Ipswich, 2 teams in the top 6. And I saw what was served up, I'd be going, God, that league's shit.
but that is because the gap is massive, to be fair.
It's huge. It was a dogfight.
But look, it is a silver lining. Ollie's right. It is a silver lining. No matter how this season goes, at least we're not eating a whole load of apple crumble.
Look, I'm certainly not writing Ipswich off. What I would say is I think top 2's gone.
Why aren't you writing them off?
Well, I think they'll get playoffs.
I don't.
I mean, Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton.
I don't think playoffs are in the bank, Jack, at their current form.
Oh, they're not in the bank, but I think they will get. Get them. I think they got a big enough gap. Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, miles ahead of the rest.
Mate, they absolutely 1,000,000% should get into the playoffs, but at their current rate of knots, dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. So predictions for this week. Watford and Cardiff. I must admit, I'm buzzing. 2 trips to Carrow Road.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm drinking again.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really up for it.
Good. Well, that's a good start.
My head says...
I feel a butt coming here.
My head says 1-1 against Watford.
Oh, where have your standards dropped?
Mate, it's Watford, not QPR.
Watford haven't won in 6.
You cannot tell me where have my standards gone after you went into Saturday going, cool, I hope I get a draw against QPR.
Do you know what I think you are?
You're a Lionel Rich Tea biscuit, you are.
Can I think what you are?
Go on.
Delusional. Have you looked at QPR's recent form compared to that of Watford?
Right. My head says 1-1. I hope I'm wrong. My heart says, Jack, we go and win this 3-1. Yeah? And by the way, the one I'm really looking forward to, Cardiff on Saturday.
Why are you looking forward to that?
I think that could be a cricket score.
Oh, God.
No, I do. I think we're going to batter them about.
Do you?
I think we're going to batter the Bluebirds.
Let's have a look at Cardiff.
I really do. I just think they are painfully average. Painfully average.
Oh, I've lost signal, so I can't actually
And I
see.
still don't think they should be in the league either.
Cardiff's recent form. Okay, they lost 2-0 to Preston. They beat Watford, as we said. Oh, they're in stinking form. Lost 3-1 to Plymouth. 3-0 to Leeds.
Yeah, but we lost 6-2 to Plymouth, so...
Listen to this one.
Go on.
They lost 4-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, beat them. Beat them.
And
Look, if the Norwich players have got to this point and you're listening, please, boys,
Yeah.
please, get us back, get this show back on the road. You know, I know that you'll be a bit frustrated with that draw against QPR. Going at 6 points this week. They can do it. They've got it in them.
Yeah.
Johnny Rowe's a big miss, obviously, but we've got Borja Signs. We've got the Signs Spice. You know, Gabby Sarah. He's still there. He's going to score a free kick at one point, isn't he?
I know I've said it probably 7 times this season, so this has probably lost its effect slightly now.
Right. So basically, are you sure you want to say this?
Yes. This week is season defining. Because, Chris, let me just feed you a little bit of spice.
Go on then.
2 wins at Carrow Road. 1 under the floodlights, 1 on a beaming hot Saturday. Couple of big wins. There's going to be bouncing in there. It's going to be bouncing. 2 wins would probably get us into the top 6. You finish the week.
Do you actually believe that?
Yeah, no, I do. If we play like we did against Coventry and West Brom, against Watford and Cardiff, we win.
Okay, and now let's flip the coin and go the other side. Okay.
Well, we don't want to look at that really.
I know, but I'm backing you up here.
Okay.
If we dare I say lose both of those games, would you say game over? Forget about the playoffs.
Yes.
Done. So this is a season-defining week.
It is.
Because
let's say if we lose them both and Coventry pick up 4 points,
yeah,
you're then 6 points behind. And I think at this stage in the season, knowing how inconsistent we are, a couple of tough
but
games
don't you
to
think
come.
they're all cup finals at this point,
Of course
Jack?
they
And
are.
that's why I was
Of course
frustrated
they
against
are.
that result against QPR.
Of course they are, but this is the week where you build the foundations.
No, I agree.
Because we have been up and down. Now let's just set the concrete. Let it set.
Yes.
And now we can start to build the walls. And then the end of the season, that beautiful slate roof. And you look at the house you've built and you've gone, cool. You know,
That's on the wonk.
we started digging and we've got, oh shit, it's a floodplain.
Yeah.
We're in some serious trouble. And then we've brought in the proper, the ground workers. No, they're shit.
Yeah.
They've sorted it out. We've got a nice house to live in.
Yeah. And by the end of it, you're looking at an Aldridge estate agent house, aren't you?
Exactly.
Absolutely glorious.
And they're going to us. They're going, well, how, just name a number. It's worth that much. Big week ahead. A couple of final public service announcements. Hill Coaching Company. Check out their website. Look, it might not be for you, but if you are a business owner, wherever, well worth bringing on Ian just to maximise your profits.
Did you say Ian?
Ian?
You just said
Oliver in.
Oh, Oliver Ian. I thought you went well worth bringing Ian in. I was like, what?
Nickname for Ollie. And the Norwich City Ultimate Raffle.
Yes.
Tickets still available to the end of February. Head over there, check out the prizes. We try to run through every prize. Last week, it just became really boring. Just go over there and check it out for yourselves.
Dude.
Big week ahead for Norwich City. Let's back the boys.
Come on.
Let's not let Chris's pessimism seep in. And let's get 2 wins. Chris, good to see you.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Come on.